Good morning, everyone. Minimalist setup today. What's that all about? I mean, do you really care? I'm making coffee. I mean, you do care. Of course you care. You're here. All right, so yesterday evening, and I was going to film it, but then I felt like, I don't know. I just feel like I would have felt bad, you know, because especially after the reaction. So I decided not to film anything that happened last night, but I gave my buddy, my best friend Tim, his Bones Coffee stuff. I found a wonderful mug. He loves Fallout, and in celebration or marketing, in marketing of the new Fallout TV show, Bones Coffee has put out chocolate candy bar, Wasteland Crunch, a Fallout themed coffee. There's 3 of these. One's a vanilla, the other one is an apple pie, and then there's a Wasteland Crunch. Now, the rub of this is that Tim has never had coffee before, ever. He's never tasted it, he's never had it. And he's, what, 10, 12 years younger than I am? But he has never had coffee. So the thought of the experience of watching someone that has never had coffee before have coffee for the first time in front of me was just, it was just fascinating, and I was so excited to see. So I tried to make it the best first experience possible. I bought him the blue Vault-Tec mug because he loves, like I said, he loves Fallout, and I thought at the very least he would love that. And then I bought this. It's chocolate and coffee and chocolate, chocolate and coffee. It's a thing. They go together. Sometimes coffee just tastes like chocolate naturally. Here they've decided to add natural and artificial flavors. This is a ground one. I bought it ground because I had thought maybe on the slight chance that he liked it, he would take it home. Spoilers, I have it in my hand. So that should probably tell you where he stood. It was really funny. He didn't spit it out, but I gave him a very small amount because it was like 6 o'clock in the evening, and if you've never had coffee, you don't know how you're going to react to it. So I gave him an incredibly small cup. He took an incredibly small sip and said, "This tastes like dirt and burnt sticks." And he says, there's no chocolate there. I can't taste anything that's chocolate. I can only taste burnt. I'm like, okay. Now, if he sat down and maybe tried it over a couple of weeks, maybe, what do they call it when a hostage starts liking the person that's taken them hostage? It's that kind of a situation. I feel beer is the exact same way. Any kind of alcohol is the same way. You kind of force yourself until you get drunk. And then there's a certain point where it actually does start to taste good because you want to continue to drink it. So your mind's like, well, then we might as well just consider this tasting good. So he said he hated it. He loved the mug, so that's great. I'm glad he liked the mug. I figure he would, but I'll flash that up on the screen too. But I got the one that I figured would be the most plain, because I think vanilla would have been a little odd, and then apple pie, fruity ones are kind of, I don't know. That's the first taste. He might have gotten more of the apple pie in that, but I just thought that the safest bet would be the Wasteland Crunch, which is chocolate. So I tried. It was a wonderful reaction, and it was just one of those things. When do you get a chance in real time with somebody sitting in front of you, do you get to have them try something they never tried before? To be brave enough to try something they've never tried before in front of a person that obviously enjoys the thing that they're trying. And he was incredibly honest and incredibly apologetic, because that's just him. And I'm like, it's fine. The reaction was worth everything. And he just said, "This tastes terrible," and handed me the cup back with that much in the bottom of the cup. And I'm like, okay, we got it. And then I drank mine and finished mine, and then I couldn't go to sleep. I was up until 3 in the morning. So, because I drank it at 7. And it doesn't make me jittery or jumpy or buzzy, but it does keep my mind awake, which is really interesting. So I will say, spoilers, I did have this yesterday along with Tim, and it smells really good. It does have a wonderfully chocolate smell. He loved the smell. That was what was also kind of funny. He loved The smell, this is a nice fine grind. I like the grind here. Oh yeah, it's a very nice grind. You can kind of see there. Yeah, I mean, that's filter coffee. That's a filter coffee grind right there. It's about perfect for this kind of an application, I think. So, you know, like I said, when do you get the chance in your lifetime to experience someone tasting something for the first time? I mean, you can go on YouTube and you can see travelers all around the world getting different delicacies in different places and trying them for the first time, but that's on TV. That's on your little screen. That's not live and in person where you can actually ask them questions. What do you think? This doesn't taste like chocolate. How does it taste to you? It tastes burnt and it tastes like mud. Okay. Those are great reactions, and it's not like I was mad or upset. I had no expectations. I was hoping that he might enjoy it and take this home with him, and we could find a way to go out to Target and buy him some kind of a pour-over setup, and then watch him delve deep as he does into bicycles and Fallout stuff, into coffee. That would have been a fun journey, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I was so excited and very privileged in the experience of watching someone in real time try something for the first time, be brave enough to do that, and then say, you know what, I don't like it. And it's perfectly all right. I gave him sniffs of the different coffees. He loved the Crusader Cup. That's the one that's a caramel, chocolate, and butterscotch. It's a Scotcheroo. And then had him smell the coconut and caramel, and he loved the Crusader Cup smell. He loved this one the most because it smelled much like a chocolate candy bar. And then I had him smell the specialty coffees that I had gotten, and he said, these smell bad. They don't smell great. They smell like burnt. And I'm like, yeah, they do. I guess they do. To somebody trying this for the first time that's never tried it, you know, yes, this does smell like burnt. I've had the ability to expand my palate very slowly, you know, because I'd have coffee since college. So I never really had coffee in high school. A lot of kids apparently do these days, which is a little weird, maybe, to me. $4.50. Good. Coffee, I always associated coffee with an adult kind of a thing. Not because it is an adult thing, but because, and this is something else I remember when I worked for a hard rock radio station, there was this thing called Trim Spa. And some of you may be like, oh, I remember that. But it had that one lady who unfortunately passed away quite a while ago as a spokesperson. And her name escapes me. I'll flash that up on the screen too. She married the millionaire, and then the millionaire died, and then the kids were like, you can't have any of his money. And she's like, to hell I can't. And you know, that was a whole thing. She was kind of an actress, and she was a model. Yeah, that was a whole thing. The 90s, I think, was that 90s or 2000s? Or was it 2000s? Because she was this Trim Spa spokesperson. But anyway, so it was this thing called Trim Spa, and it had a nice large dose of ephedra in it. Now, the ephedra was a diet drug. It suppressed your appetite, and it gave you more energy through like caffeine, a caffeine kind of hit. It was on the market for a while. We had them at the radio station. Ephedra sponsored several events. So we had boxes and boxes and boxes of trials that were like 3 pills, and you took like a pill a day. They were like, here, give these out to adults, you know, just give them out to adults, you know, and it was ephedra. And now that substance is banned from being used in America because some parent fed it to their Little League baseball player, and the Little League baseball player had a heart attack on the field and died. So immediately, we are banning the use of ephedra as over-the-counter stuff. Because, I mean, it was on shelves, and it was in bottles, and the ban hit, and so we were left with these bags and boxes that we couldn't use. So I took a box And it was a box of many packets. And I went through those packets, and I went from 260 pounds all the way down to 219 pounds in a matter of 3 months. It was just absolutely a fantastic way to lose weight as long as you paid attention to the dosing directions and did as instructed. I didn't do any exercise. I lost weight through the appetite decreasing and the more activity that I was doing because I had all this energy. And now that shit got me jittery. I did get jittery once or twice on the Trim Spa ephedra stuff. I think Trim Spa still exists now, but it's more like just a supplement, and everything that's in it is like the safest, pansiest, boiled down root vegetable garbage that exists. So yeah, but it used to be pretty hard hitting. I mean, you would take it and then in like 10 minutes you would be like on, you know? So, and it worked really well. I got down to 219 pounds. It was fantastic. And then the government banned it because, of course, parents that want their children to be pushed as far as humanly possible decided we were going to use it on our kids when it's completely not recommended for kids at all. So parents that do that ruin everything. Anyhow, so the moral of that story was that made me jittery. Coffee doesn't make me jittery. Oh, it's a long way to go and a short time to get there. Okay, but I don't, ooh, this might not fit. No, I'm gonna need another cup. Any cock'll do. So I've got a cup that fits. We should be okay. I don't think we need to swirl this, but I'm gonna swirl it just a little bit. I already stirred it up, so all of the grounds is touching water. So actually when I put the spoon down in there wasn't anything at the bottom. Everything seems to be suspended really well. So the pour was actually good enough to agitate everything and get everything going because I didn't hit anything at the bottom. So that's really nice. We'll go for another minute. So, but yeah, so that was a fascinating evening last night. He was sitting right there. I'm like, try this. Is it hot? Right now it's hot. Okay. Well, I like things tepid. So I'm like, well, then we're going to need to wait about 10 minutes. I'm over here sipping, hot as balls. And I'm like, I'm just sipping because I'm like, this is great. I really enjoy this. And he's like, okay. And he still thought the smell was amazing, but he tasted it and he's like, cause I think, and I had this complete and total misconception when I started doing the Bones Coffee stuff. It came, it's like, ooh, this is a peppermint. Ooh, this is raspberry. Ooh, this is like a strawberry and chocolate. And whereas it tasted like strawberry and chocolate, it still tasted like coffee, and none of it was sweet. So your brain goes, this is wrong. Why am I tasting strawberries, but the strawberries aren't sweet? That's weird. Get it out of my mouth. But to his credit, he drank it. He drank a sip, said, I don't like it, and then cool, done and over with. It was really great. It was really great. It is an experience I will never forget because I watched someone in real time react to something for the first time, and I think that that's just absolutely fascinating and fun. So, are we ready? It's a really good drawdown. I mean, people talk about the initial coffee that kind of sits around the outside of the paper. To me, I mean, I'm sure that there's a science to it, and everybody's gotten the science down to a science, so my insights don't matter that much. But it just seems to me like even if it's sitting outside of the paper, it's still absorbing a lot of the flavor because it's still in contact with the coffee. The water's passing through the membrane. I mean, it's still recirculating just a little bit down here in the bottom too. When you're pouring at the very least. So everything is getting, and you're pouring for about 25 seconds. So everything just kind of churns around. So I think people will talk about how you want to get rid of that maybe that first drawdown, because a lot of it is just darker water and it doesn't have a lot of flavor. But I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I understand I'm a layman. I understand that I'm not skilled whatsoever, but it just seems to me like all the water's touching all the coffee, and it would be a shame to, not only would it be a shame to waste it, it would be an exercise in almost futility in order to get those first couple of ounces out of the bottom of this thing, throw it in the garbage, and then put more in the coffee. Just weird. I don't know. That smells so good. It doesn't happen in the Chemex because the Chemex is a pour over, so everything's just going through immediately. This is sitting. So I think that in sitting, everything's still touching all the coffee and stuff is still leaching through the paper. So I don't know. It's down to a finite, very finite, small amount of science that people go by, and that makes sense, and I understand that. But, as I said, someone that's doing this in their kitchen by themselves, at this point, especially with a flavored coffee, I don't think it matters quite as much to me. Yeah, that's as good as it was last night. It tastes really, I know it's a medium roast, but boy, does it taste strong. Maybe it wasn't the best coffee to introduce Tim to. I did it through the AeroPress as well, because I wanted to get it. I always feel that that's probably the best way to introduce coffee to people, because it's a nice, simple method. It's fairly quick, and you still get a lot of all the flavors because it's pressure and it's filter, and you can get it to sit in there so that it's steeping. So I just think that that's the best way to get the most out of the coffee, especially if someone's experiencing it for the first time. And I don't think it tasted or looked nearly as strong. And strong is just based on color and flavor, not based on caffeine content. I don't think, but it's just nice. I mean, the coffee flavor is really good. The chocolate candy bar, it just balances out with the bitterness of the coffee. It's really good. It's really tasty. I think that maybe at some point I'll try the apple pie if it hangs out long enough. I just don't, The raspberry chocolate kind of put me at ease with regards to fruit kind of flavored coffees like that. It tastes really nice. And then what else did I get? Key lime pie was absolutely fantastic. And every time that pops up, when that pops up again, I'm going to get another bag when I get a chance. Yeah, the key lime pie was absolutely fantastic. And the fact that you can even taste a little saltiness and a little bit of the crust in it as well is very pinpointy. So maybe the apple pie would be good. I don't know. It just seemed like a weird one to start him off with. And I didn't want to start him off with a plain coffee because there's no easing into that. That's a love or hate thing immediately. But I guess this was a love or hate thing immediately as well. And he rejected the hell out of it. And it was a lot of fun. I wanted to tape it, but then I'm like, you know what? I want a genuine reaction. I don't want a camera in his face. I want to know what this is. And, there are a lot of moments where I think we focus too much on recording it rather than living in it. So I rathered living in that moment to see what happened, because it meant a lot to me. It's weird, I know, but such things just mean a lot to me, where I can see someone in real time react to something right in front of me that they've never experienced before like that. Something as fun and interesting to me as this. And he was apologetic that he hated it, but it's like, no, it's either one way or the other. And it was a fascinating study in immediate reactions to things you never tried before. It was great. I loved it. It was so cool. And I was glad that I could experience that with him and share that with him. It was just fun. It was a great time. He'll never have coffee again, but he doesn't have to wonder what it tastes like. So, this tastes like the coffee. It just does. There's just a nice chocolate hit in it. And there's no crunch. I would hate to have a coffee with crunch. Of course, though, I think I did have a coffee with crunch once. I think they had chocolate-covered coffee beans in a coffee that I had once, and it was interesting. I don't really like chocolate-covered coffee beans. that much. They're a little weird to me. You have to chew on them for a long time, and I don't like swallowing things that I've not chewed thoroughly. So, yeah. Anywho, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow. I'll find something else to pull out of there. Maybe we'll do the s'more time and end on a delicious note of chocolate and marshmallow goodness. We'll talk to you later. Bye.